This is Triggered.
And you will be.
Listen, okay? Ash is sick.
I have a sinus infection.
Okay. And we had a moment where we were like, Chantal will just do it on her own. It'll be fine. I can only look this way. I can't look to the left because my entire left shoulder has seized in a spasm. Also, if you're watching us on YouTube, the swelling of my face, we are in the most dire of positions here. So,
Guys,
but we
I
wanted
didn't
to
even
come on.
I didn't even have the get up and go to get dressed. I'm in my robe on
Yes.
YouTube for the world to see, but I don't give a shit.
I'm in my robe on YouTube.
And it looks like my eyes are closed, but they're actually wide open, which is terrifying. So if you are listening on the podcast, and you want to see diabolical fucking Ashley and Chantal, take a peek. It's quite entertaining.
I have a whole chin strap of fluid under my under my face. I'm getting lymphatic draining on Thursday, okay?
Oh, that's so exciting. You know what? I've really wanted to do that for a long time. I had a lymphatic drainage body massage once.
That's what I'm having.
But just my body. I didn't have like my neck or anything, my face.
Oh, okay. So
I would
they're
really
targeting
like to get that.
Yeah, they're targeting like my shoulder muscle, which has now gone up into my jaw. So
Yeah.
anyway,
I was convinced Chantal was having a heart attack the other day.
I know, it was scary. It was scary. Moral of the story is, if you're tuning in on YouTube, you're seeing us raw. Ash is in her fucking nightgown. Like we're doing the best we can. Also, on another thing, AI is super powerful and it can do a shit ton of things. But Matt has 1 day left to get our bathroom floor finished before we leave for the States. So you're going to hear sawing, probably, maybe. If you hear it, welcome to my home renovations. We're just doing the best we can today, okay?
But we made it, guys.
We're here. We showed up. I'm swollen. You have no sinus freedom.
No.
We're doing the best we can. Well, Ash, you know what? This is the perfect case for a day like today, because this is a case that doesn't really need a lot of help being unsettling.
Oh.
There's no gore today. There's no killer with a name and a mugshot. Just a hole in the world, the exact size and shape of a 27-year-old man. And the longer you stare at it, the worse it gets. This, I guarantee you, this will live in the back of your head for weeks.
Great.
Because I've been upset since I wrote it. Let's get into it. Before he becomes a mystery, he was a person. And I always want us to start there. Brian Randall Shaffer, 27 years old in the spring of 2006. He is a second-year medical student at the Ohio State University College of Medicine in Columbus. Obviously, a smart cookie. You don't just stumble into medical school by accident.
I don't know. Have you met some of the doctors out there?
I mean, fair assumption. The thing everyone says about Brian is not about his medical know-how. It's actually about the music. Brian was a Pearl Jam guy.
Oh, a man of my heart. I love Pearl Jam.
Yeah, and not like a casual, like, oh, I like Pearl Jam. This was the real deal. He actually had the stick figure logo from the artwork for their single Alive tattooed on his upper right arm.
I mean, not that much.
I know. No, like he was like a diehard fan. More than once, like he would say to his friends, like his dream was just to ditch the whole grind, move somewhere warm and start a band. Like, he was, and I'm like, Brian, me too, my friend.
Chantal just wants to be the lead singer of a band. I would play the like triangle in the band. Ding.
And dance. Or the cowbell. Brian had a girlfriend, Alexis Wagner. By every account, they were solid. They actually had a trip booked and they were flying out together that coming Monday for a little vacation to Miami. Just the two of them. He had a family he was close to, which makes the timing of all of this almost unbearable because only 3 weeks before the night we're about to walk into, Brian's mom died of cancer. I know. So this is not, and this is important because I want you to set your mind to a state of this isn't like a young man on top of like a carefree spring. He's exhausted from finals. He's grieving his mom. He's probably in the worst 3-week stretch of his entire life. And by every single report of every friend, every colleague, every professor that he had contact with day in and day out, Brian was not suicidal. This is really important. Okay, he was sad. Yes.
Yeah.
Heartbroken that he lost his mom at such a young age. But he was looking forward in life. There were plane tickets booked. He was, all I love you. I'll see you on Monday, looking forward. After what happens, friends and family consistently said, and they said, like, this isn't even a case of like, oh, we didn't really see that coming. It was like, no, he had big plans. He was excited. He was going on this trip with Alexis, not suicidal. Really important. So keep that in mind because this case is going to make you try to pick between suicidal, not suicidal. But we'll get into that. It's Friday, March 31st, 2006, end of finals week, the Friday before spring break, which on a college campus is basically a national holiday.
Mm-hmm.
Brian starts the evening in the most wholesome way imaginable. He has dinner with his dad. Randy takes him to an Outback Steakhouse in Reynoldsburg, just two grieving men, 3 weeks out from losing the woman at the center of their whole world. Yeah. And I just like my heart, because I can picture this.
Yeah,
right? And it would be so difficult to even start going to a restaurant again after that.
Of course.
Brian's exhausted. He's been studying, but it's the Friday before spring break and his friends are going out. And he's like, you know what? I'll come out for a little bit too. So after dinner with his dad, he goes up to meet up with his former roommate and friend. Okay, so the man's name is William Florence, but he goes by Clint. I don't know.
I hate when people do that. Like, my name is Ashley, but I go by Veronica or some bullshit.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Well, so
okay,
I refer to him as, I try to refer to him as Clint throughout this.
Okay.
So that's who he's meeting up with. They start the night at a place, and Ashley, I roared at the name of this place. It's called the Ugly Tuna Saloona.
Right there, I'm going. If I see a sign that says the Ugly Tuna Saloona, shots for everybody.
I know. I was like, what
Fucking
a great
right.
name. Yeah. So I want to set the scene here because the geography of this bar is literally the entire case. The Ugly Tuna was on the second floor of the South Campus Gateway Complex on North High Street, right by campus. It's closed now, but it's up on the second level of this bigger entertainment building. And the way the public gets up to it is an escalator. That's essentially the front door. So
you put a bar. You put a bar. The only way to get in and out of a bar is an escalator. Mm-hmm. That's diabolical. I can hardly do an escalator sober.
It is pretty rough. So basically, you open the front door to the Ugly Tuna Saloona, and there's an escalator. Okay, that's what you got.
Okay,
one going up, one coming down. That is the only way in.
Wild.
And there's cameras covering the escalator and the entrance. That's important. Around 10 o'clock, Brian calls Alexis. She's out of town. She's gone home to Toledo to be with her family before their trip on Monday. They have a chat. He tells her he loves her. He's like, I can't wait to go on this trip with you. I need this so badly. And she's like, yeah, hun, I know, me too. I can't wait. Completely ordinary, completely warm, loving phone call. Then Brian and Clint do what you do. They leave the tuna and they go bar hopping. They work their way south down toward the Arena District in the short north. And according to Clint, at each stop, they do one shot of hard liquor. So they are drinking. Let's be clear. But Clint painted the picture like not blackout obliterated. Like I actually thought about you and I when we go out.
Yeah.
Like we're not driving a bike by the time we're done.
No, but
we're also able to walk home.
Yes.
You know, somewhere after midnight, down in that short north and Arena District stretch, they run into a third person, a woman named Meredith Reed, who's a friend of Clint's. Meredith does them a favor. She offers to drive the two guys back to the Ugly Tuna because there's a live band playing and they want to catch it. So now it's the three of them, Brian, Clint, and Meredith. Meredith is sober. Clint and Brian are tipsy and have a great time. At 1:15 in the morning on April 1st, security cameras catch all three of them riding the escalator back up to the tuna's entrance. We have this footage. 1:15, three of them go up. They're inside for a while, and at some point in there, Brian gets separated from Clint and Meredith. Some accounts say he wandered off to go talk to one of the guys in the band, but we're not 100% sure. What's certain is that inside that crowded bar, the three of them drift apart, and Clint and Meredith lose track of him. Now, 1:55 a.m., the camera outside the entrance catches Brian one more time. He's standing out near the doors, and he's talking to two young women. Brief conversation, friendly. He lifts his hand, says goodbye to them, and he turns and moves back toward the bar entrance.
Okay.
That is the last frame of Brian Shaffer that exists anywhere on Earth.
Okay.
So 5 minutes later, the Ugly Tuna hits last call and closes. And the cameras keep rolling. The whole bar empties out. Everybody who was in there comes back down past the cameras and leaves through that entrance. Everybody except Brian. So we have the camera catching Brian going up, but never coming out.
That doesn't make any sense if that's the only way.
So our very first reasonable instinct is, well, the cameras missed him.
Yeah.
Cameras miss people all the time. He pulled his hood up. He kept his head down. He slipped past in the crowd and the camera just didn't see that. Police thought that too. So they did the work. There were two cameras on that entrance. One of them swept back and forth automatically. So did a pan every now and then.
Yeah.
The other one was operated manually by a security person. So yes, in theory, there could be gaps. But one of the original investigators, a detective named Andre Edwards, went through that footage exhaustively, okay? This was this guy's only job, specifically to rule out the idea that Brian left in some kind of disguise.
Why?
Well, I mean, listen. Listen.
Weirder things have happened. I get it.
I'm a little tipsy, okay? I'm in a bar. I'm having a great time. I'm grieving. And, the band has props and has a blonde wig. Am I leaving in the blonde wig? Probably.
You don't even have to be grieving or tipsy to be leaving in the blonde wig. Just be real.
This is it. This is it. So this is what they're saying. They're like, could he have left in some disguise, a different jacket? Maybe we're looking for this guy and he's dressed differently.
Fair.
But after all of that review, this detective, whose only job was to look for this, said he was 100% certain Brian did not leave by that escalator. Not in disguise, not in the crowd, not at all.
Now, there's got to be an emergency exit, legally, right?
Ashley, there is exactly one other way.
Okay.
There's a service door, not a public exit, the kind of back door that staff use.
Okay.
And here's the catch. And honestly, this is the most this case will ever hand you in terms of a rational answer. But At that time, that service door opened directly onto a construction site. So the door was not currently being used by anyone.
Okay.
And from what I understood in my research, the complex was being built out. So behind that service door was not like, oh, like some gravel that you might have to step over. It was an active construction zone. And investigators looked at this and said, like, a completely sober human would have a difficult time getting through that if he went out that door.
Okay.
So their argument was this guy's been doing shots since 10 o'clock at night. I repeat, like shots. Okay. That's a maze and a dangerous one at that.
Yeah, I know.
And based on what they were told about the state that Brian was in, remember, he's not blackout, but he's tipsy. If a sober person can't navigate this construction site, chances are, had Brian left through that door and tried to make his way through, someone would have found him completely passed out, fell down, like he's not making it out of there without any problems. So that does become one of the theories, and we'll come back to it. But to me, based on the explanation of how serious this construction zone was, like I want you to think like giant holes. Things are cordoned off with fencing.
Yeah.
Like this is not an easy thing. You would need to know the construction site very, very well. And it's dark. It's at night. And
Fair.
Brian did not know it. So one of the theories is like, okay, he left through the back door. His apartment was 6 blocks away. And maybe he just went home. That was initially what his friends thought. And his friends didn't initially know that he didn't go down the escalator. It wasn't until he was reported missing that they actually looked into that. But at his apartment, his car was still parked outside the whole time. He didn't drive anywhere. Whatever happened to Brian happened on foot in that little tiny radius around the bar. So it's actually Monday morning when Brian doesn't show up to the airport for his Miami trip that the alarm bell goes off. That's when Brian's dad first calls the police. And here's another thing. The search that follows is enormous. They're not taking this lightly at all because they're looking at it as, okay, here's a 27-year-old med student. He's just lost his mom. Maybe he wasn't good. We need to find him. So they start at the Ugly Tuna, obviously. They pull footage from other bars nearby to see, okay, even if he did leave through the back door and by some miracle of God ended up being able to make his way through that, he's going to show up on other video cameras outside of other bars.
Well, yeah, like they're like this is not that long ago. There would be, and he's still technically on campus.
Yes, and there's cameras everywhere. Like you really need to know every single bar, every single storefront had a camera that faced the street.
Okay.
They looked everywhere and came up with nothing. There's not one trace of Brian on a single camera in that area.
And he had a phone. Did they try and track the cell phone? Well, it was 2006.
Like there was basic things they could do, but it's not what it is today.
No, fair. You're right.
So at this point they fan out. And I mean, again, I know we come on here a lot and we tell cases about like police who just don't take it seriously. They took it seriously fast.
Okay.
They really did the work on this one. Officers with police dogs going up and down the streets. They searched dumpsters. They searched waste containers. They went door to door asking residents. Flyers were everywhere with his photo, his Pearl Jam tattoo. And a really haunting detail, he's got this distinctive fleck in one of his irises. So, my mom has one and I love it so much. It's like a freckle. Yeah, it's like a freckle on your iris. And so police had released that saying like, if you're unsure, look at his eyes because you can't hide that. You can't mask that. Ashley, they got the city to let them into the sewer system. Because again, they're saying, no, like there's no way that this inebriated guy got very far. from this bar.
Well,
we saw him go in. Where did he go?
Right there, that's stressful because, like, I can't imagine what his dad is going
No.
through. Just lost his wife. Now he's like, where the fuck is my son?
My heart
Mm-hmm.
breaks so deeply for his dad. Because I just can't imagine any of this. But so with everything I just told you, they found nothing. Like, not a trace. Not a shoe, not a jacket, not a wallet, not a phone, not a sign of a struggle, not a drop of blood. Nothing.
No activity on his banking.
Nothing.
Okay.
This is like a total. So in law enforcement, they refer to this as a total absence. So when there's nothing, not a trace of where he went, what happened. And the thing is, like, they were like, was it a crime? Like, was he but Brian's life did not point to any kind of organized crime. This was a good kid. This was a good kid getting through school, getting through his mom's death. Like,
he wasn't going through any mental health crisis other than grief. But grief
wasn't.
You know?
Yeah, but again, like, and this is what everyone said afterwards is, yes, he was grieving. Yes, he was devastated. His mom just died. But it almost drove him to live life fuller.
Yeah.
You know, like, he watched his mom die at a young age, and his attitude was never like, well, then what am I doing here? It was always like, mom would want me to keep going. Mom would want me to push. So you've got this man who couldn't have possibly left by the front, probably couldn't have safely left by the back, didn't take his car, and left absolutely nothing behind.
I'm so concerned.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to get into some of the details of this case.
Okay.
After Brian vanished, Alexis kept calling his phone every night before bed. She'd call it just to hear his voicemail, which fucking kill me. I know.
Poor girl.
Yeah. And for months, it went straight to voicemail the way a dead phone does. When I call you and your phone is off or it's dead, it goes straight to voicemail. So this happened in April. One night in September 2006, she called it and it rang. Of course she was.
This poor girl.
I would call Matt's phone probably for years. You know, our last case where he kept I would pay Matt's phone bill for years just to hear it. Okay, so it's September. She calls it like she does every night, almost like a good night. And it rings Ash 3 times.
Was she like, what the fuck?
Right? Now, his carrier at the time, singular, said it was probably just a computer glitch.
Hey.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But there's a wrinkle because at some point a ping from his phone was detected off a cell tower in Hilliard, which is about 14 miles northwest of Columbus. So you've got a glitch that maybe isn't a glitch near a tower that's nowhere near the bar. Does it mean anything? Does it mean
they go there?
Right? Did someone take his phone? Well, so you have to remember it's 2006. A ping off of his cell tower could indicate that he's within a 25-mile radius of that cell tower, right?
Okay, true.
And so nobody can really close that loop. And computer glitch, maybe, but phones weren't like brand new then.
No.
And why would it we're talking April to September, it never rings. His phone went dead. She would call it every night and get his voicemail immediately. And one random night it rings 3 times. It's weird.
Yep, suspicious.
Yeah. All right. The Eddie Vedder of it all. So remember, Brian was a massive Pearl Jam fan. That year, at a Pearl Jam concert in Cincinnati, Eddie Vedder himself stopped between songs to talk about Brian's case.
Oh, get
and
out.
ask the crowd for any tips. Yeah. Which is, on one hand, a genuinely moving thing for a stranger's hero to do. And on the other hand, it tells you how big this story got and how fast.
Yeah.
But nothing came from it. Not a single new tip.
It's literally, could be aliens. You know how I feel?
Girl, we're going to talk about what we think at the end of this, because over the years, there were supposed sightings in Michigan, in Texas, even in Sweden. They were all chased down and all dead ends. It was never Brian. So every single time somebody thought, oh my God, that's him, they would look and it was never him. In 2019, a photo started going around online of a homeless man in Tijuana, Mexico, who looked a lot like Brian. It got enough traction that a Columbus news station forwarded it to the detective on the case, who sent it to the FBI for facial recognition, and the FBI ruled it out. It was not Brian.
Fuck. I was excited for a second.
I know. In 2021, the State's Bureau of Criminal Investigation put out an age-progressed photo, like what Brian might look like at 42, because it had been 15 years. And like the fact that they're aging up this man's face like a kid on a milk carton was really strange to begin with. But his disappearance was so unsettling and just did not make sense that they felt like they had to. Okay, I want to go into the polygraphs, and I want to be very careful here. Because Ash and I get into a lot of trouble every now and then.
We do get in trouble.
On this little potty podcast that we got going on here. As the investigation went on, police asked the people who'd seen Brian that night to take polygraph tests. Now, whether you believe in polygraph tests or not, this is not the point here.
I want to actually know what you think of a polygraph test.
I don't think they should. I agree with the fact that they can never be used as a solid piece of evidence in a case. Do I think that they can be used as a tool to make people feel nervous?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Absolutely.
I think it could be used as a puzzle piece,
mm-hmm.
But not an indefinite yes or no. Because, I mean, if I truly believe the sky is red, and I'm like, Chantal, that fucking sky is red.
And this is it. And there are so many factors that play into a polygraph being, positive or negative.
Mm-hmm.
However, this is a little, I was like, oh. So Randy, Brian's dad, takes one. Meredith, who drove them back to the bar that night, took one. They both passed. Pretty much everyone who was asked took one and passed. Our friend Clint refused.
Why? Why, Clint?
And again, I want to be careful here because refusing a polygraph is not a confession. Okay? It's not. We have to
No, but
But here's the thing. This was his friend.
If you have nothing to hide, and I'm not saying Clint had anything to do with this, but maybe Clint has some secrets he doesn't want getting out.
Here's my... Okay. I always, when we get into these cases and we research these cases, I always try to put myself in the shoes of these people, okay? And I just, throughout this, I was like, you and me. Yeah. We're out, we're tipsy, we're shots in, okay? I would be asking for a polygraph because I'd be like, what if I don't remember something? What if you can tell me something? Hook me up.
Right.
Let's go. If it can maybe help us find her, I'm yours. Put 100%. Me in the chair. Strap me in. So this is like the splinter you can't stop touching because why did you refuse? So everyone else for years now has said they think that Clint might know something. Or know where Brian went.
But they saw Clint leave the bar.
Nobody saw Clint. Or yes, Clint left the bar.
Clint left the bar.
Brian
they saw him on camera. But there's no body in the bar. So
That's right.
So it's like, if Clint had something to do with it, how would Clint have done something, got him out of the bar, and then got out of the bar without being... No. It's weird.
And we have to remember, because at this point in the case, I was like, okay, I think maybe it's possible that maybe Brian did want to start over fresh. Okay. Maybe he was faking and his mom died and he was like, oh, let's do this. And Clint was in on it and helped him disguise himself in the bathroom somehow. And then I'm like, no, an
No.
FBI detective went through every single frame of that. Brian did
And
not
what?
leave.
He fucking booked it with no money, no nothing?
No,
Come on.
no,
Half fucking
no,
wasted.
no. And again, by all accounts, like, he was doing good in medical school. He had a girlfriend who he wanted a future with, like, I don't know. Randy, Brian's dad, before he passed away, said the family always had this feeling. The family always had this feeling that if Brian did take off somewhere, Clint would be the one he would have told.
Mm.
So they're not sure, but it's like.
Here's the thing. If you came to me and you were like, listen, I've got to go and I need a like bestie promise, pinky promise, you're not going to say anything. No, because I wouldn't be able to watch Matt and your daughter and your family
No.
suffer like that.
No.
I'd be like, okay.
And there's ways around this, like the resources that went into this. Like, if the tables were turned and it was you, I would be like, you got to stop looking for her. That's all I know.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I know. You can't push me further because that is literally all I know. But just say nothing, not take a polygraph. So in every case, mistakes happen. Remember the two women he was talking to outside the bar before he went back up?
Yeah.
They were identified, but they said they had never been asked to take a polygraph, which sucks.
Why?
Right? Because I think even the conversation that he had with them, because we don't have the audio, I think it mattered. That was the last couple minutes that we have footage of Brian. I want to know what that conversation was, and I want to know that it was the truth, but we don't have that.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
and to this day, we still don't know where he is.
We have no idea. Brian is still a missing person. He's never been found. He's never been heard from ever again. No body has ever been found. No body has ever been identified. They have his DNA because they went into his apartment to collect and save his DNA so that when a John Doe comes in, they can test it against
I'd be
profile.
Throwing that sucker into 23andMe.
Seriously.
Turns out, like, he resurfaces somewhere and has kids. But
it's just...
honestly, in my opinion, he's not alive.
Well, and we're going to get into our theories right now, and then we can discuss what we think.
Okay.
Theory number 1, he walked away on purpose. So we kind of talked about this a little bit. He had said to friends and family his whole life, like, oh, if I could just escape the rat race and start a band in some foreign country. Okay, he had said that.
Everyone has.
Yeah, everyone has. And the thing is, like, this was not the guy who was actually pulling this shit. It just wasn't. He had just finished this guy broke his neck getting through finals right after his mom died. Like, that's not someone who's going to just peace. Like, why would you put yourself through that? That's crazy. So I don't subscribe to that.
No.
Some people do. It ain't my thing. Theory number 2, foul play, inside or just outside the bar. People say something happened to him and his body was concealed well enough to defeat sewers, rivers, dumpsters, and dogs. I mean,
that's
crazier
my theory.
things have happened. Crazier things have happened. And the thing is, there was a live band there that night. You got to think about the equipment cases that instruments come in, like, we don't know what was in those cases when they got rolled down that escalator.
Well, because he wasn't considered a missing person until Monday.
Exactly. He wasn't considered a missing person until Monday. So no one was looking through the band's gear. And I'm not saying the band was responsible.
No.
I'm just saying, I think if someone wanted to get a body out of there, it was 100% doable without being detected.
Yep.
Number 3, I don't subscribe to. Get the fuck out of here. They're saying an accident at the construction site. He died and was somehow not seen and was covered up. No, I have to get the fuck out of here. They looked everywhere for him.
Yeah.
The construction crew wasn't working till Monday. Monday morning, he was a missing person. By Monday at like 11 o'clock, police were crawling all over that construction site. That's not what happened, but.
Oh, and if they would have been like moving dirt or burying things, they would have looked there.
Okay, this one's going to break your heart. I cried when I read this. I'm not going to cry today. All right, Randy, Brian's dad, consulted a psychic who told him Brian's body was in the water near a bridge pier. And Randy bought waders and spent his free time walking the banks of the Olentangy River near campus, searching under bridges for his son.
This poor man. This poor man.
I
would do the same thing, though.
Of course
you tell me
would.
My baby's somewhere, that's where I'll be.
Because what else are you doing?
I know. That's horrible.
It broke my heart.
Poor Randy.
I know. Now, briefly, this pulled toward the case of the smiley face murder, which I don't think we've covered yet. We will at some point.
I know about it.
Yeah, basically, like young men were drowned across the Midwest, but Columbus police and the FBI rejected any connection, and the river searches found nothing to this day. Yeah. Okay.
No.
So those are the theories, and here's why we're talking about this now. It's not just a dusty old file. The case is actually moving again.
Oh.
This year, 20 years on. In February, the podcast True Crime Garage, which, guys,
I haven't heard it yet.
Oh, you gotta check it out. It's a Columbus-based podcast, and they're wonderful.
Okay, I'll check it out.
They dropped a 6-part deep dive into Brian's case. So if you like what you're hearing today in our little 45-minute, and you want to dig deeper, go listen to their coverage of it. It's fantastic. Shortly after it aired, a researcher named Kelly Coconor, who's run a Brian Shaffer Dead or Alive project for years, got a text from a listener. The text contained a name, a specific person the listener thought police should be looking at. Kelly took that name to a detective she'd been in contact with, and according to her, when she said the name out loud, the detective was visibly shocked that she even knew it.
What is it?
Because that person had reportedly been on the Columbus police's radar since 2006.
Do we have a
name?
And
I don't think so.
Okay.
But it's the fact that, like, and I just have a little aside here. Because Ashley and I were recently treated like we're some dumb bitches from Canada by some, who have a podcast who are just stupid by someone. And this just goes to show this is a platform.
Yeah.
So because of a podcast, this woman got a tip, an anonymous tip, went to the detective, and just so happened to have the name of someone they had on file since this happened in 2006. And it shocked them that she knew about it, because obviously they were keeping that close to the chest.
Well, yeah, that was a name on their radar. How would she have otherwise known? And if that name is surfacing and she has not been like connected to this person or even knows about this person, there's something there. There's something there.
This is going to throw you for a loop.
Okay.
So back in 2020, detectives circled back to a particular individual a man who had lived in a house not far from the ugly tuna. By 2020, different people had owned that house, but police knocked, got permission to look around, went down into the basement, and noticed something. A section of the concrete foundation looked newer than the rest of it, which is an immediate red flag. They got a search warrant, and a judge signed off on tearing up the basement floor and digging the yard. And here's the thing, guys. Judges don't authorize that kind of demolition for shits and giggles, okay?
No.
There was something here. They had some kind of connection in order to get a warrant where, like, can you imagine someone coming to your house today and being like, hi, we have a warrant to literally destroy your home? They don't do that for fun. Okay?
I'd be like, fine.
And that warrant tells us that investigators had more reason to suspect this man than they ever made public, which is probably why they were shocked when Kelly knew his name.
Mm-hmm.
So they dug. And what
And
they found under that newer looking concrete was an old fuel oil tank, capped off years earlier, back when it had been used to heat the house. And I can only imagine how nervous and excited they were, thinking like, this is it. But Ashley, no body, no decomposition, nothing at all. Just another dead end.
what the fuck was the point of burying that? You know? Fuck off.
Well, actually, as a home renower, I could see it. They probably couldn't get it when they brought it into the basement. They probably built around it, and it was too big to get up the basement stairs. And they were like, well, we'll just dig down, and it's a possibility. Anyways, but with the new name and a reported month-long effort to triangulate Brian's old cell phone data, you've got the most movement this case has seen in years. So
something's
Columbus
going
police,
on.
yeah, right? Columbus police won't confirm specifics except to say the one thing that matters is this is still an active and open case. They're still working tips, which means the door Brian walked back toward at 1:55 in the morning is somehow still not fully closed. So before we talk about what we think, I want to leave us with where we started. Brian Shaffer was 27. He was 3 weeks out from losing his mama, and he was determined to keep going anyway. He had a steak with his dad on that last night. He had a girlfriend that loved him, and dad never stopped looking for him, literally till the day he died. And Randy died without an answer, which is heartbreaking. And so if you're hearing this podcast and you know anything about Brian, there are so many, 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 many ways to leave anonymous tips.
Oh, absolutely.
If you are scared of it somehow affecting your life, you can leave an anonymous tip and it might help. So that's the case of Brian Shaffer. What happened in your eyes, Miss Ashley?
I think that whoever it is they had eyes on had something to do with this. But when you look at the evidence and you think about that night, like, I mean, there's lots of ways to get a body out of a bar. There's no doubt in my mind.
No.
And he wasn't even reported missing until Monday. So then there's that. But I don't know. I actually can't.
I watched a bit of the footage.
Mm-hmm.
And in my head, I'm just like, did the detective fuck up? Did the FBI make a mistake? Where they're saying there's absolutely no possible way that Brian left that bar. Is it possible that they messed up?
I mean, there's always room for human error, right? There's room for error in every way. But someone on the street would have seen him, dude. Like, his friends were looking for him.
This is it. This is it, where it's like, okay, cool. Even if that was the case, the other cameras would have caught him. We would have seen Brian Shaffer somewhere around that bar.
Brian Shaffer was taken out of that bar, but he was not alive.
All right. That's your theory?
But why?
I mean, well, but why? How come? This is the thing. Brian was not involved in any kind of organized crime. Brian was not doing drugs. Brian was not involved with like sketchy people. Brian did not like piss somebody off. Brian was a good, he was 27 years old. Like, that's the type of behavior we see from like
And
People who are
Brian's
involved in
phone was
gang
never found?
activity. No.
A lover's quarrel, some kind of sneaky link. There's lots of theories here that we could go with.
There's lots and lots of theories, but either way, no matter what happened, it's an absolute mystery to me why we never saw a trace of Brian again.
It's wild. What's your theory?
Ever again. I mean, mine's that there was a alternate portal in the bathroom that he
I mean,
slipped into.
aliens? Don't worry,
You know?
CERN is shut off. He's gonna fall from the sky any day. Fuck. It's so
You and your
bad.
CERN.
I'm obsessed.
You and your CERN. Ashley is obsessed, and if you want to talk more in detail about Ashley's CERN, come over to our Discord. And guys, Discord is now open to everyone that listens to Triggered.
Yeah.
Now, if you want the nitty gritty and basically like a group chat with Ash and I, join our VIP. It's fun. And you get a bonus episode every month. And June's bonus episode was wild.
Yeah. It was really good.
So consider that. But if you're not in a place to do that, we don't care. Come join our Discord. It's a place where you can meet like-minded people who are weird and creepy and like true crime, just like you.
Right.
And they're good human beings. Like, we have met such incredible people through this little community. So I will be posting the link to that on our social media and also on our website. So keep an eye out for that.
All our Discord peeps, I know I've been quiet, but I am dying. And it hurts to put glasses on, which in turn I can't see my phone. So I'm doing the best I can do right now.
This was supposed to be Ashley's case today. And she was like, so I can't put glasses on and I can't see. I know. You're really going through it. Well, thank you all so much for listening. We love you all. We appreciate you all. Thank you for joining us every single week. And we'll see you all on Tuesday.
Bye.
Bye.